Hi, let's take a look at some ways that you can make the chronology. Okay, let's switch over to here. So go into Word and go to blank document and start the blank document. So remember that um, remember to save it. And oops, I realize I'm cutting off part of the video, but that's all right. So remember to save it. You're going to save it whatever folder you're saving it in. That's completely up to you. But remember, it's going to be your last name, not my last. Remember, not my last name, your last name. So it's going to be your last name dot chronology dot BLM Black Lives Movement. Oops. Yep. And then let it just dot docket. Okay. So right. So obviously you have your standard header, right? Your full name, your ID number, my name, the course, ENG, ENGH 101. I don't really need the CRN. You can put it in if you want to, but that's up to you. And then the date, July 29, 2020. Again, make sure that you can just single space this. It doesn't need to be double spaced or anything like that. Just right. If you think it's going to be more than one page, you can go over to insert and you can put in page numbers. At the bottom, it's fine. I don't really care. Either top or bottom, wherever. At the bottom, right? And then close that. So then you go back up here and just keep the title simple. Chronology of the Black Lives Matter movement. And what do you put in for content is up to you. I'm not gonna be that generous and give you the content. That's up to you. But as far as formatting it goes, in case you're not familiar with some of Word's options, you can go to where it says insert, and on the insert they have basically charts. Okay, and if you want to get fancy, you can go ahead and look at all the different charts that are available. Now, a timeline obviously is not going to, a bar graph is not really going to be good for a timeline, but you might be able to look at something like a funnel, right? A funnel could work because you're going to look at your 5 most significant events. I don't know if a waterfall would work. A Bach whisker might work if you were doing time. A histogram. Not sure. Histogram work. A sunburst? Yeah, probably not. A tree map. It's cool, but not. A radar, surface, stock. A map. Nah. Scatter, area, bar, pie. Line. Column, templates, and everything. So you might find something here. You might find something there, or you could look up at Smart Art. You look at Smart Art, and they have like a bunch of things. Well, not a bunch, but they have some, right? You could do a list that might work as a timeline. You might be able to find one of these that might work for you. A process, one of these might work for you. A cycle. right? If you chose, for example, this one here, what was the defining event, and then what spun off of it, or this one here would even be better because it's got the connectors, or this one here, or something like that. Or if you really wanted to get fancy, you could say that, or this one, right? Hierarchy might work. Relationship might work as a timeline. Matrix, pyramid, picture, getting kind of creatively funky here. You can also go to office.com. Hopefully that's going to bring us up to Office. Oh, it's kind of like, you could use that if you liked it. Or, I don't like those, so I'm just going to undo them. You can also go out to the net, and you could find Chronology graphic organizers. You could type that in, and then you would get some different ones that you could go with. Sequencing, chronological, whatever it is that you want to work with. Okay. You could work, if you don't want to use the word chronology, because time, you could just say timeline graphic organizer. Great. So, you could do something like this. They get more and more complex. It's like a game, like a video game, or like a quest. You could choose really anything that, see how I grew, no. You can really kind of play around with it. And you can import these, and then you can add you could add text boxes. So for example, if you wanted to do, you could go in here and you could find easy teacher worksheets. You might be able to find some in here. Printables, something like that. It's really up to you. And you don't have to get fancy if you don't want to. Okay. So you're going to have your Black Lives Matter movement, but remember, we're talking, 5 significant events. Okay. Right? Talking 5. Yeah. We're talking 5 significant events. 5 significant events. Okay. If you find more, that'd be great. But if you find 5, and then summarize them in your own words. Okay. Really, no opinion at this point in the game with it. Just a summary. No opinion. Just what happened. Think of the reporter's words. Who, what, when, where, how, and why. Okay. So that's going to be the first component of this essay.